You're right.
Great. Thanks, guys. Thank you for joining us, everybody. We are on the top dot live. How about that, folks?
Woohoo.
Um, welcome to Red and my colleague, of course, Collins. Today, we're going to have a chat about preparedness and focus because these
Ooh.
two things, I believe, are probably the most important things you've got before we actually go full tilt. So, Red, say hello and take it away, my friend.
Thank you so much. Hello to you, Andy, Collins, and especially to Marty DeGarmo. Nice to see you on here. Thank you so much for allowing us to use the company Zoom for this. Really important topic that we're talking about today is prepare and also, uh, what was the other one? Prepare and what? Sorry.
Focus.
Focus. That was it. Focus. Obviously, I
Bob,
wasn't focused, was I?
yeah,
Uh,
Bob Tacusi's favourite saying.
I mean, I've been talking a long time with obviously Andy and Collins about preparing really for what is coming. I was speaking on my live today about how rock solid in belief I am about what is happening here. And if you really start analysing what ONPASSIVE is going to be doing, there is nothing else around there. You've got Marty and Chris who have been doing the numbers over the last few weeks now. They really start blowing your mind, don't they, of what is possible with ONPASSIVE, and that really is only scraping the surface. Don't forget the figures that Marty is doing are only estimates. They're his best guess. This is not anything that's come from corporate, but it gives you a really good idea of what you can actually do for your own business, and that really is the name of the game here. Is that ONPASSIVE is your very own business. Our CEO Ashmi Farah is doing everything that he possibly can behind the scenes to give us the platform, the services, the products, all of the rest of it, so that we can utilize all of those for the benefit of ourselves within the ONPASSIVE platform. Yes, the company are certainly going to help us along the way, but the more effort that you put in, guess what? The more you're going to be successful within it. And this is why we want to talk to you now about being focused, about being prepared for what is going to be coming. The next phase, 2.0, phase two, whatever you want to be calling it, but it is certainly going to be coming very, very shortly. I don't want to say soon, I want to say shortly. I've always known with Ash Mufara that when he is the quietest, he is the busiest. And he always comes and delivers well above expectations on what we even dare to think about. We've heard from Marty and Chris that he is crazily excited about what he's going to deliver to us. And now really is the time for us to start focusing on what we're going to do with our own businesses. We've discussed over the past about making lists. We've discussed over the past about how we are going to implement our strategy when we get our hands on the products so that we can go out there into the big bad world and actually start making our own commissions through the resale of the products and services. Now, let me just go back to the commissions very shortly. If you have ever been an affiliate of anything online, you will know that no other company has ever given such large commissions to its affiliates in any company. Put on top of that as well, that on the first sale, as you well know, that the very first sale, guess what? You get 100% of that sale come back to you. So from one sale, you're in the absolute clear. Anything you've paid for that product, you get it back and you move on forward. Now, Marty's already said with his numbers that these are very low estimates. They're not even hyping them up to make them big. He's going along the lines of 3 sales a month. 3 sales a month. Not even 3 sales a week. 3 sales in a month. And how that goes month after month into 1 year and where you're going to be after 1 year on one product. then you bring in another product and another product. And this is going to happen on a regular basis. And this is why we need to start focusing on our strategy individually of what you're going to have for your business. It is vitally important that you start thinking about these things now, whilst we've got the time. Because when the proverbial hits the fan, we're going to be having to do a lot of other jobs to move into phase two that is going to take us away from the jobs that you could do right now. So what are those jobs? As Andy said, make a list. And he's talked about lists on multiple occasions. You need to segregate your people around you into areas of lists so that you can talk relevantly to them about what you perceive that they are looking for. What do I mean? If it is the parent at the school gate, the mum or the dad, who are dropping their kids off, you know them, then you can talk relevantly about how ONPASSIVE can help them with maybe extra childcare payments, that bit of extra money. They're not going to be at home, aren't they, after work? You can do this couple of hours a night, boom, 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 all the rest of it. If you've got people who've got their own businesses, how the products and services of ONPASSIVE can help utilize and enhance their own businesses to make it more streamlined, lower costs, and all the rest of it. So when you're writing lists, think of the people you have in your mind, and then put them into categories so that you can be very bespoke about how ONPASSIVE is going to help them in those areas that you know they're going to be interested about. We're not talking about selling here. We're not talking about saying if you're doing this, you're going to earn that and all the rest of it. Far from it. Our CEO really doesn't want us to talk anything about money. He wants to talk about life-changing things. He wants to see pictures of somebody who's brought a new car. ONPASSIVE paid for that. We don't care what it costs, but ONPASSIVE paid for that. The holiday that you might take your family on, ONPASSIVE has paid for that. Maybe the new house in the future, ONPASSIVE paid for that. Putting your kids through school or university, ONPASSIVE has paid for that. Those are the success stories that we want to hear, not I made X amount in a year. Those are just superfluous as far as people are concerned. It's just numbers. People don't believe you anyway. But when you show an item or show something that you have used that money for, then people start listening. We've said many times that you are going to get people in the future coming to you and saying, are you an affiliate? Are you part of that ONPASSIVE thing? This is what is going to happen. Whether you believe me or not is actually immaterial, but that is going to happen. So utilize this time now, okay, to be productive. We're all staying focused. I've said many times, stay the course. You owe it to yourself to focus on being here when it starts again. I'm going to be on that front line in my starting blocks. As soon as the gun goes off, I am down the road doing my business. Am I going to help other people along the way? You're damn right I am. But I'm going to get my business going first. Then I'm going to double back, make sure everybody's coming with me. You should be the same. What you don't want to be doing is having to get over hurdles to get to the starting line and then get going. We want you all there. People are going to come back to ONPASSIVE who might have dropped off anyway. We don't want you dropping off. We want you staying the course. You owe it to yourself to see this one through. Think of it as a trial, as a test of your endurance, of belief, of having that will to want to succeed in your own business, not letting this one go. This is all part of the growing that you have done through the ONPASSIVE journey. We've all changed, we've all grown, we've all learned a lot of new things, haven't we? Utilize that in a positive manner. Don't dwell on the negative. Dwell on what can be achieved, what this company is going to do, what you are going to do within that company. Have those dreams. There's nothing wrong with dreaming. It's a good thing. So focus on those things. Make your lists, decide how you're going to grow your business, and you will make sure that you get off to the best start possible that you can have when we're given that green light. Back to you, Andy.
Thanks, Red. I I want to kind of take it back a little bit further than this because I want to take it back to the very beginnings of focus. Now, what do I mean by that? What I mean is you get yourself in the correct mindset every day. Now, how do we do that? Okay, so I get out of bed. I don't bother making my bed. I go straight downstairs, make myself a cup of coffee. I don't do any exercise. Right. Okay. So now I'm starting to focus a little bit more. I'm starting to look at things in a different way. So when I get out of bed, the first thing I do is I focus on making my bed. It's little baby step. I know that sounds stupid because we've got a business here, but this is the first thing. It's a mindset. It is setting yourself up for what you're intending to do for the day. Okay, so get up, make my bed. I haven't made it in 40 years, by the way, so this is a first for me. Right. I'm not forces, so yeah, I didn't do that. But uh, I then set aside a set amount of time every morning to do a bit of exercise. Well, I'm into yoga at the moment because I've got trapped nerves in my neck. So I set that aside and I set myself up for the day. I make myself a cup of coffee, but now I focus on the fact that I've got to have a pint of water before I have my coffee, which makes it easier to digest the coffee. Right. So now I've sat down in front of my desk. I write 10 things that I've got to do for the day. And then I put next to them A, B, or C. A being the most important things, B being the secondary important things, and C being not so important, not to matter too much. And then I focus on doing A's first, then B's, then C's. Now, what am I actually doing? My time at the moment is taken up with learning or understanding about e-commerce. Now, much of this is going to be done by ONPASSIVE. So I'm taking an hour out of my day every day to make sure that I get a little bit more information about how e-commerce works, what the system is, how Facebook works, what the system is, all of these little things. This is preparing for your business. Now, again, I'm going to go to the preparing bit from the business perspective. How many of you guys have ever had a business before of your own? Probably, yeah, well, likewise, Red, but probably very few people out there have actually owned their own business. So what does it entail? Now, we're very quickly going to get to the point where you've got a business with OnPassive and there's going to be money coming into that business. What are you going to do? How are you going to deal with it? And it really does mean that you're going to have to prepare properly to look at what options you've got as far as a business is concerned. What do you need to find out? So, again, from my point of view, what I did was I found a little accountant's system online. I'm not paying for anything, don't get me wrong. I took the idea from them and I set up my own spreadsheet with payments in, payments out, so that I've got a list of things that my expenses are going to take up part of the profit. Because at the end of the day, guys, we're all going to have to start paying tax, and I don't like it as any more than anyone else does, particularly with what's going on at the moment. But we won't go there. So, bottom line is, we've got to look at things as, what have I got when I've got a business in my hands? What am I going to have to do to make sure it's legal, to make sure that I pay the right tax and not too much or not too little? What else do I need to do? What expenses am I going to be able to take off to ensure that I pay as little tax as possible? So all of these things are little tiny prepared details that you're going to have to understand. You have to know, because when it does go, you don't want to get involved in any of that. You just want to say, right, this is my incoming, this is my outgoing. Make it nice and simple because you've done the baby steps to begin with. You've found out what needs to be done. Over to you, Collins. I'm sure you've got some more ideas.
Thank you, Andy. I'll just lean to you and Red. And honestly, you really talked about nail the positive side of it. With all what you have said and about preparedness and focus, if you don't do these two things, you are doomed to fail. Because, for instance, if you are not focused on what you want to achieve and you give your eyes to negativity, your ears to negativity, what will happen? It means you are not ready, you are not prepared, because you will just lose all the things that will help you to build a business. Because again, when you look at prepared, it's about the readiness to handle, the expected behavior and unexpected behavior. What if things go wrong? Are you ready to handle it? There are people, when things happen, even a little shutdown, like what happened to our business, they were just like, people were just running helter-skelter. What is happening now? Why? Why is it things happening now? It's because you are not paying attention to what is happening. When the CEO come out and explain things, people don't want to see it because they are already fixed in what they want to achieve. Like Maddie made a really clear message yesterday, and I've seen a lot of things, written on most of the WhatsApp groups. The mentality of money is crazy. You want to achieve something out of nothing. You are ready to achieve something, but you are not ready to pay attention to the business you call yourself an affiliate or a founder. If you are not part of this business, go out there. It is difficult. Mr. Ashmofara have built the simplest platform for all of us to be very, very successful. You leave this platform, go out, there is nothing out there. There is no way you can succeed because, Maddie will talk about, these funnel things and the way the market things online, the Red knows all of these things. I'm not able to do that. I can't even do it. I don't think I can do even 0.00%. It means if I leave this platform, this business, I'm doomed to fail. There is no way I can succeed. So he took all the pain, put it on himself, build a platform, and we are mourning behind. When we join on this company, I always call it company, some people put money ahead of the what they want to achieve. The mind was, I want to get it now. But for a startup business, you cannot get it now. It's not possible. When you ask for something, a commission, ask yourself, where would the commission come from? We all know it's coming from sales. No sales, no commission. They must build something, put it out there for all of us to be able to make commission. But sometimes people follow, all this glitter. I saw something today, they posted on one of the biggest platforms from Cameroon. People have lost hundreds of millions, and I share it just of recent because they follow the glitters. It is easy to be attracted for nothing. But if you look at where we are, ask yourself, why did Mr. Ashbra shut down everything? Because he said, if people cannot receive commission, there is no need to collect anything from others. If we cannot get it right, no need. He would have just said, you know what, let me keep on piling. And honestly, there are people who will still pay. But he said, you know what, no more. We are shutting everything down until we get it right. Then we will open it again. But sometimes you see people ask, there are things that they read. Sometimes I feel like pain in my heart. I said, it means we are still in a business. We don't understand how it works. When you ask about something, ask yourself, the person who is there building it on our behalf, you don't want to listen to him. People complain about too many webinars. Ask if Red is not going out, Andy stop, Maddie stop, all of the people who are doing webinars stop. Where will you get the information? The information comes from those people who can sit behind, understand the system, and then come out, spend their time to explain. Nobody is paying them to do all of this. They can sit back and still make a lot out of this side because they understand how it works. They don't need to come out. Red don't need to come out and be explaining things. But when Red is doing it, it's because of the love of, he wants others to succeed. Maddie wants people to succeed. So if you tell them, don't do any webinar because all what you are saying, there is just nothing. I read it on the WhatsApp group and I was like, what are you saying? Maddie said it last time, if you don't want to listen, shut your ears down. We're talking about preparedness and focus. Where do you place yourself in those two? Are you the person who are really distracted and you want others to follow you and fail? Or are you the person who is really focused to make something out of what Miss Ash is building? That's what we are asking ourselves now. And if you are focused, are you prepared to handle the expected and unexpected behavior when Ash can come out? Because technology is unpredictable. He can come out and say, you know what, we need to add 1 more days based on the technology behind how they are saying it. Will you say, oh, you've come out again? Remember, all the other companies were not part of it. That's why sometimes when I look at Elon Musk, I say, yeah, it was really good for Elon Musk not to bring anybody because this man cannot stand this pain of people crying every day, you know, because things happen behind the scene. Sometimes we see phones, new technology. Do you know how many times? We don't know how many times they failed to make that particular phone. That particular phone, for the phone to come out, iPhone 5, how many times they tried and they failed? We are not internal. We are not in the internal process. So we don't know. We always see it when it's coming out and say, wow, this is a great phone. Yes, thank you. We are now in a startup company where everything is so clear for us to learn, to know about a good business and a bad business. For those who are in, have learned so much. And that's why Red can come out and talk about these things, because he keeps his eye and is focused to understand everything and is prepared. Andy is prepared, everybody. But those who are still complaining, I always ask myself, how many years have you been in ONPASSIVE? In this business we are talking about? How many years have you been? The last affiliate founders is about 2 years ago. If you have been 2 years as an affiliate and you know nothing, then it's just, there is no hope. We cannot help you. So how will leave it there, Andy.
Thanks, Collins. I think this is quite an important point because a lot of people are going to start to come to ask questions when this thing launches, and I know these guys on the screen and many more will go, sorry, I'm concentrating on my business now. I don't have time to bring you up to speed because you couldn't have been bothered to do it in the first place. So, Red, I'm sure you've got some points that you'd like to add.
Yeah, I've always have. I
Silly
know
me.
that there's people out, yeah, I know there's people out there who will be in this mind frame, and that is, I'll cross that bridge when I get to it. You know, that this is a completely blasé attitude to have to a business. If you are taking your business seriously, and Andy was mentioning how many of you out there have got your own business, one thing you can never do in business is allow things to be taken at a chance or at a hope or anything like that. So getting everything or as much as you possibly can in order, prepare whilst you can, is going to benefit you tenfold in the future. Because as Andy said, if you get into the habit now of doing things that help your focus, this will take you through your business. You are going to get to a stage, guys, where obviously it's automated, obviously it's all the rest of it, but you are going to get very engrossed and very involved in your business. You are going to be working your business, plain and simple. Is it going to be worth it? Absolutely. So don't worry about working for nothing. You are going to reap the benefits and the rewards of it. But what you can't do is do nothing now. And when money starts coming in, when things start happening and all the rest of it, then try and almost plug the leak. Any business requires a certain amount of legalities. Any business requires a certain amount of documentation. Now, we're not advocating you go out there and make an SSL, a limited company, whatever it might be. But there again are avenues you can look at for the future. So why not at least educate yourself now about what those options are? Why am I saying this? Because the more knowledge you have for a business in your country and how it operates and what you need to have and all the rest of it, guess what, guys? The better prepared you are, the more focused you are on your business. You are working towards an end goal. Our CEO, Ashmin Farah, is working towards an end goal. You are individually for your own business are doing exactly the same mirror image in a different area, working towards an end goal for your own business. You have to make sure that you've looked at all the aspects of your business in your country. What does it involve? Now, there's people out there probably saying, well, I'm not going to register it as a business. I'm just going to be me, self-employed. Absolutely, you can do that. I'm already self-employed and I do my own tax returns, probably the same as Andy does. You know, we have to once a year put tax returns in and we pay our dues, whatever it may be. But even just that is something that we are already doing. So we know a little bit about it. But I bet you bottom dollar, there is probably 80 or 90% of you out there who is just an individual, never been self-employed, never had a company and all the rest of it, and actually don't know where I stand. If you're earning money outside of your job right now, guess what you have to do? You have to declare it. Okay. The more you learn about how do you declare it, what do I have to declare, what forms do I need to show where this money's come from, all the rest of it. This is all knowledge. This is all preparing. This is getting yourself ready. If you want to set up a business because it is a lower tax threshold in your country to have a business rather than being self-employed. I don't know what the rules are in your country. Guess what? I'm going to find out what they are in my country to make it more beneficial for me. If having a limited company means I pay less tax, guess what I'm going to do? I form a limited company because I'm paying less tax. If it's beneficial for me to be self-employed rather than limited company and I can maybe do other things, then I will do that. But the one thing I'm trying to do and say to all of you here is these are things you can do now. This is you working on your very own business. This is you looking at your options. Have we talked about anything to do with money here today? No, we haven't been saying, when you get to 10 grand, you need to start doing this. When you get to 100,000, you need to start. No, we haven't talked about anything like that. We're saying prepare yourself for the best future that you can possibly have. Do it now whilst you've got the time, because you might not have that time. I'm going to be hell-bent focused on exposing my ONPASSIVE business to as many people as I possibly can. That's where I want to be focused. That is, for me, the icing on the cake. That's what's going to give me sales, give me commissions. It's going to get my business going. What I don't want to do is have to backpedal, right? Once we start thinking, holy, I need to do this. I've got to register that. I can't do it without having that, when it could have all been done before we've even started. So just think about your business. Focus on the things that need to be done, like Andy said. Prepare yourself as best you can for what is going to be happening. Am I saying pay an accountant? No, I'm not. Am I saying register as a limited company? No, I'm not. What I'm saying is educate yourself, which for the best option it is going to be for you in the country that you are at. That's it from me for now. Back to you.
Thanks, Fred. I think this is extremely important because based on my experience and the people that we've spoken to, the vast majority of those that I've come across within that are early birds within OnPassive are or have a job, so they work for somebody else. There is a massive, massive difference from working for somebody else and working for yourself. Okay, they are completely different. And one of the first things I did when I set up being self-employed, as Red said, there's variations. So being self-employed, I don't have a business. It's income that I'm producing, and therefore I pay tax on that. The first thing I did was look on the government website, the HMRC, the tax office website, as to what expenses can I get away with that come off my bill. So if I'm using petrol to get to one of the events we've had, for instance, that's something that I can take off. And all of these various different expenses I made a note of, so that when I've come across that expense, it comes off. It's taken off that, and I don't have to pay tax on that. So this is this is my favorite phrase, as you guys well know: proper prior planning prevents piss poor performance. So, but I guarantee that 90% of you that do have jobs, there is a massive difference between being self-employed and having a job. Okay, working for somebody else. They deal with the tax, you don't have to. They deal with the national insurance, you don't have to. So all of these things need to be taken into consideration when you're working for yourself. And let's face it, you're now under OnPassive, you're working for yourself. It's not PAYE or pay as you earn. It's not tax deducted at the end at OnPassive's end. It's now I get an income coming in from this. I need to deal with it. So it's very, very important that you sort this out, as Red has said. Okay, so I want to also kind of take it to the next level, because we have an opportunity here where we can dream big dreams. Because of what Mr. Mafara is doing with OnPassive and how this is progressing and what it's likely to achieve, we need to have big dreams. So the next thing I want you guys to do is to write a list of 100 things that you want in your life. Yeah, you can even put a monetary value to it if you wish to, but just having the list means that you have a focus on that list. You know what's on that list, and you put it into the top 10. So the most important things for you, and then work your way down. Golf clubs, don't worry, they're at the top of my list. But my reasoning behind this is because if you understand, or if you see what it is that you really want and what it is that you really want to achieve, and you've written it down, it's clear and concise, then you've got something to go for. Collins, any extra bits that you'd like to add to us? We've had a good conversation this evening. I really enjoyed this.
I like the way Red put it, and Red have just touched a lot of points about preparation. And when Red was talking, I was thinking about how many of us really understand our OnPassive business. How many of us do take it seriously? yeah. Because we are talking about the unlimitedness of this business. Only ourselves will bring our own limitation. Limitation is just you. You just ask yourself, like Andy said, how far do you want to go? Write your list. When you write your list, because OnPassive is so massive, it's too big. Write your list and ask yourself, can I achieve this list in OnPassive? Yes, you can. But it would depend on how much you know. Sometimes we see things, we stay behind, like Red, I always think about those who stay behind, complain. But if you ask them, how much do you know about the business you are in? Do you know about the wallet? How many wallet do you have in the OES? Some people will tell you they don't know. They know just one. They know when they pay in. They've never looked at it. What is the use of the subscription? Why do we have a subscription menu there? Why is it there? Why do we have all of those functions? Because it's not just there for decoration or fancy. It is there for us to build our business. Do we really know our business? Know how to use it when the time comes? You know, because you can make it with it in unpassive. Subscribe, you go sleep, someone tell you, oh, there's commission in your wallet. You don't even know how to take it out. You don't know what to do. And if you don't know what to do, you will sit back, complain and complain because you refuse to pay attention. You refuse to learn because it's about learning. How far you can go would depend on your knowledge in unpassive and the business because things will still happen. We are saying these things are happening behind the scene. One day we just come like this and they tell you, this is it. Take it now, go. You will sit back and still complain, oh, I don't have enough information. Oh, I don't know what to do. It is your fault because you refuse to learn. The time that you should take to learn, understand everything, you're sitting back complaining. Time doesn't wait for you. There is no time. You know, the business is there for you to learn, take it and run away with it. We talk about level playing field. Mr. Ashmore didn't build it and said, oh, Red, you will be on top, Mighty will be on top, and somebody. No, it's just equal opportunity. That people are spending their time learning and others are sitting behind saying, I want to see it first. I want to see commission, then I will learn it. My friend, you will waste your time. Like Red said, take your time, put things together. This is the time for you to learn how to build your business internally and externally. You know how to pay your tax. All of those things is something that we need to know based on the country you are in. But first, do you know the internal business? And then after that, do you know what to do before the government in your country will chase you and tell you, you know, my friend, hey, you've been sitting there enjoying all of this. You've not paid your tax. You know, we need to do this, learn and learn and learn. And sometimes when they complain, I ask myself, come on, how much do you know about the business? You can't complain of which you don't know what is happening. You've never take the time to look at the ecosystem, understand what is inside, question everything and ask for information within. And this is what we need to, we should be doing instead of complaining. So I will leave it there.
Thanks, Collins. This is a great subject. I love this. Any final comments, Red? We've been at it for a little while. So any final comments?
Not really from me. I mean, we bang the same drum very often, don't we, about ONPASSIVE, and we are not by any means telling people off or anything like this. What we actually want to, and we do this to try and help you guys, just to try and maybe get you to think a little bit more about really what this business is about. Ash has said many, many times, it's not like any other business, okay? And because it's not like any other business, really is time to take it seriously, to get to know it, like Collins says, internally and externally. Treat it seriously, okay? Not let's wait and see, not I'll do it when I need to, okay? Because always doing it when I need to do it is never the right option, okay? You need to start as you mean to go on. Guess what? If you start, as Andy has said, with a focus in the morning, guess what will happen to your business? That focus will then turn into sales. Why? Because you have started in the right frame of mind, that you are basically getting up and going. You're not waiting and seeing, okay? Wait and see has never made a sale. Focus has. Focus has made loads of sales. Deciding today I'm going to do one sale. That is focus. Don't care who it is, but I am going to make one sale today. That is focus. That is drive. That is taking your business seriously. That is you being proactive within your business. I don't want to hear any of this, I can't sell, I can't do this, I can't do that. That is your own excuse for yourself to make life easier for you. That's all it is. That is you being in your own comfort zone, already giving up before you've even tried. That is not having that grit, determination, drive to say, I am going to make a success of this. I am going to do this. That is focus. That is drive. And that's really where you want to be with not just this business, any business, really. That is what makes the difference. I'm going to just very, very briefly talk about this. Jane and I have had a few businesses now through our times. We've had our own pub, restaurant. We've had a glamping site. We even had a sandwich round as well. We had a couple of food trucks as well, doing 3-day events and all of this. All of them we've sold. Okay, built them up, sold them, built them up, sold them, built them up and sold them. Every single one of them that we have sold, guess what's happened to them? They've all folded. Maybe not in a year, maybe not in 2 years, 5 years, but they have all folded after we sold them. Now, are we special people? No, we're not. But we work really, really hard to make our businesses a success in whatever field it may be. And people think it looks easy because we've got it so fine-tuned that we know our business, how it works, our client base, all the rest of it, what people want, and we fine-tune it, fine-tune it, fine-tune it so that it makes, from the outside, looking in, look easy. But that's what's called hard work. That's what's called knowing your business. That's what's called having that drive, determination to make your business a success. And this is where so many people fail. If you do not focus on your business in a professional manner, knowing what you need to do, then you're not going to utilize it to its 100% ability that it is there. ONPASSIVE is no different. We are given the tools, we are given the platform, we are given the products. It is up to us how we utilize all of those things together for the benefit of our own business. The company are going to do a bit as well. Don't worry about that. Okay. For those who say, I can't do it, I can't do it. Don't worry. You will make sales, but you're not going to make 10 sales a day. You're not going to make 100 sales a day. You're not going to make 1,000 sales a day. You might make 1 or 2 sales a week. I don't want to be in that category. I want to be in the 10 to 100 sales a day category. Thanks very much. That's what I'm looking at. And that's what I'm focusing on. That's where I want to be. Why? Because I want to have the lifestyle that I've always dreamed of. I want to have the time freedom I've always dreamed of. And the only way of getting that, guys, roll these things up, do the homework, do your knowledge base, do all the things you need to do, and take your business seriously. Back to you.
Thanks, Fred. Thank you. That is it's a very good point. And what also people have got to understand is, look, we are here to help. I have no problem with helping anybody if they've helped themselves first, right? If you expect any of the leaders, any of these guys, to do things for you, not going to happen, right? If you're up to date and you've tried your hardest, you're stuck on something, I'm happy to help, because this is a family, a community, and yes, we're all part of the same thing, and that is key. If you're not willing to help yourself, then tell me why I should help you. So as we've all said this evening, proper prior planning prevents poor performance. Make sure that you're in a position that you understand the next steps. If you're in a job at the moment, understand the next steps. Understand where it takes you to become self-employed. Understand where it takes you, or what the difference would be between being self-employed and having a limited company. Because sooner or later, if you do work this business, you will get to need a limited company. So plan prior, Works every time. Collins, any final comments?
Yeah, so it's just about preparing, learn as much as possible, know your business, because, like Ray said, anything can happen anytime, and you don't want to be left behind. Nobody will be left behind by the company, like Red already mentioned, but your growth will depend on you. We have the equal tools, the same platform, and people have spent, years upon years to learn, to understand what the system is all about. This is your own time, or if you're still behind, please catch up, catch up. Don't sleep, just get up and say, all of us, we just have 2 eyes, 2 hands, 2 feet. Nobody has 4 eyes. So use your 2 eyes to look at the system, understand it, and ask questions. And there are a lot of people out there to help you. So I'll leave it like that.
Lovely. Thanks, Collins. Thanks, Red, for joining us, and thank you all for joining us this evening. Hope you got something out of that. And please join us again next Tuesday. Apologies for the delay. Thankfully, Marty was helping us get to a live stream scenario rather than use the system we've been using previously. So again, thank you for joining us all of you for joining us. I'll get that the right way around. And we'll see you again next week.
Oh, Andy's gone.